ProPublica spent weeks examining the Rise Above movement, a group of more than 50 people who spend their weekends training for one goal: to physically fight anyone who disagrees with its white supremacist ideology. They have attacked people in at least 4 cities so far, but ProPublica says the group does not seem to be the target of any police investigation. But there is another group of Americans the FBI has targeted for investigation. According to an FBI report that Foreign Policy made public, the FBI's Counterterrorism Division has created a term, Black Identity Extremists, to describe people that they believe pose a threat to police because of, quote, perceptions of police brutality against African Americans. Joining me now is the ProPublica staff reporter who wrote that report, A.C. Thompson, and Patrisse Cullors, co-founder of #BlackLivesMatter. Thank you all for being here. A.C., I'm going to start with you. Who are these white supremacist groups, and why don't police seem to have any interest in arresting them?
So the Rise Above movement is a group of, as you said, more than 50 young men. Most of them are under 30, and they're spread across Southern California from San Diego up to Los Angeles. They train on the weekends at various parks around Southern California, and their mission is to advance a Nazi white supremacist ideology by attacking people on the left, attacking people of color, and attacking basically anti-fascists who show up at fascist rallies.
And these groups, a lot of the members, when I read through your report, it's pretty chilling. You have young men who have police records, people who have been arrested for assault in the past, but who show up in places like Charlottesville and don't seem to attract any attention by police. You recently, I believe, interviewed a couple of the men who finally actually were arrested, but only after they shot at counter-protesters during this latest Richard Spencer appearance at the University of Florida, literally fired shots at anti-fascist protesters. Then they finally got arrested. Tell me a little bit about them.
Well, let me first tell you, when we were in Charlottesville, my colleague Kareem Hodge and I documented this insane act of violence by 2 members of the Rise Above movement. We didn't know who they were at the time, but all we knew was that they were attacking multiple women who were counter-protesters, beating them, choking them. We have pictures, videos of this. It's in our story and in our video. We went to the police at that time and we said, hey, this just happened. You guys were standing there. You didn't do anything. Are you going to do anything? And they didn't want to talk. They did nothing. They allowed this to happen. One of the other people who was in Charlottesville and involved in all that mayhem that basically happened without any police intervention was a guy named Tyler Tenbrink. He's not a member of the Rise Above movement, but he's a member of several other white supremacist groups. I interviewed him. He'd been in those brawls. He said, you know, I hate the leftists. The leftists are evil. They're bringing degeneracy to our country. He said, I'm fighting against multiculturalism, the press of multiculturalism on Western society, and I'm fighting for my children. Fast forward to this week, he shows up in Florida at the Richard Spencer event, and according to police, opens fire on counter-protesters with a handgun. So that's the kind of folks we're talking about. And, you know, as far as I can tell, Tyler Tenbrink was another person who was likely known to law enforcement, but there was no action being taken against him.